Lois Lane, I heard that that was something, a character you always wanted to play as well. Is that true?
It is true. Yeah, I grew up watching Superman and really loving that relationship, and kind of my Barbie dolls were saved by many a Superman.
Was was it the Chris Reeve Superman?
It was the Christopher Reeve, yeah.
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 And so you had auditioned, or
I had auditioned, yeah. I actually screen tested with some of the guys that were up for the J.J. Abrams script.
Right.
And then read for a casting director for Superman Returns. Did not get either of those parts, clearly. So
you're in good
today,
company,
which is great. Yeah.
Yeah. And when it comes to playing Lois Lane, Amy, you know, how do you turn her into a real thinking, feeling human being when she's, you know, so well known and so iconic and has been played so many times before?
Yeah, you know, we were lucky. We had a script that defined the characters so differently, and their circumstances and sort of the relationship that develops between Clark and Lois is so different than it's been explored in the past. We have a real friendship, and we sort of trust each other, and this alien teaches me more about humanity than I've discovered through my search in the past. So.
But it's not just the script, though, is it, Amy? Because it seems to me, I know that you're being credited, and I saw the movie, and I agree with really infusing Lois with so much humanity and heart. And she feels very real to me, even though it's this kind of, obviously, hard to fathom story.
Yeah, I mean, well, that was the important thing. Zach was really great about sort of letting us know, like, he wanted it to feel grounded and real, and he wanted the relationships to feel real. And whenever I sort of got caught up in thinking, like, oh, I'm Lois Lane and I have to do something, he's always like, no, I didn't hire you to be anybody else. Just do your thing, you know. And so it was so great. I knew just by him casting me, he was thinking a little outside the box, you know.
And it must have been so challenging having to work with Henry every day.
It's just so awful. It's just too bad about his face, right? Yeah. He's such a nice guy, and then, you know, I kind of feel bad because in all of the press, it's like obvious, so people are constantly asking the question, and then I'm like, Henry's going to take out a restraining order on me if I keep talking about how cute he is and like giggling in his presence. But I challenge anyone to stare in his eyes for 5 seconds and not giggle. So, yeah,
okay.
It is not easy. And
I'm definitely not really up to that challenge.
No, but he really is the nicest guy and so humble and has so many other wonderful qualities that you kind of forget, and then you see other people react to him, and you're like, oh yeah, he's really good looking. And
yeah, you know, and I wonder, honestly, I mean, it's sort of a cliche
it's so
question.
Weird to, like, usually I'm saying it when you're not around, so now I'm like, feels weird.
But for women, sometimes there is such a thing as being too ridiculously good looking, as they would say in
Well, I haven't had that problem. So.
I don't know, you're pretty beautiful too, Amy, but do you worry at all, Henry, about it getting in the way of your acting and for people, in terms of people taking you seriously for your craft instead of your packaging? I said packaging.
I think she just touched you from afar.
I said packaging,
she
please.
Just stroked you. All right.
It's all down to the filmmaker, really. I mean, how he or she shoots me and how, you know, I interact with the castmates. You can look any way you want, but your director will make you look however he wants you to look. Yeah. And that's what it's really down to. Yeah. And then the audience will perceive you a certain way.
Meanwhile, Amy, you've had such tremendous success, so congratulations
on
all your great roles.
Thank you.
Really.
Thank you.
And, you know, reading up on you for this interview, I was reminded that you were an Army brat, right? You were born in Italy.
Born in
Italy.
Italy.
Grew up in Colorado.
Yes.
And one
like, yes, ma'am. There's the Army. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. But one of 7 kids, right?
Yeah, one of 7.
So how do you think sort of your upbringing prepared you for what you're doing today?
Well, I take criticism pretty well because I come from, but it just keeps you humble, and you keep yourself in check because you do have this group of people with a shared experience, and you know, I don't think I'm any different than them. I don't think I'm special. I think I just chose to do something and was lucky enough to get to do it in this capacity. And
as we said, Henry's sort of on the verge of kind of really becoming a household name. What advice, Amy, since this has happened to you a while ago, would you give to Henry as he navigates this sort of more accentuated form of fame?
I don't even know what Henry's about to go in for, because there's like a whole teenage girl thing that I can't give you any advice on. I don't know. Henry's got it under control. Like, he's got this natural humility, and So I think it's just a matter of like finding space for yourself and
Even
time for yourself and space for yourself.
You
That's
talk
all.
about teenage girls, and your daughter isn't a teenager
No, I
yet.
mean-
Aviana is 3,
He knows,
and her first crush has been on Henry. How do you know that?
It's gotten really weird around the house. So we're like, now it's really funny. We'll be driving down the street. She's like, Mom, look, it's Henry. And I go, and what's Henry wearing? His super suit. So that's what she calls it. Henry's wearing that super suit. It's very cute.
So all those
to
teenage
watch.
girls have some competition.
Yeah,
your
she'll be,
daughter.
you know, yeah, we'll see. She's got, I give her like 5 years, and I'm going to be like, Aviana, really?
Enough about the super
Inappropriate.
suit,
Yeah, exactly.
right? Anyway, well, I loved you in the movie, as in everything really that
Thank
you've done.
you.
I'm a huge fan.